Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and I am currently a kindergarten teacher. If you've been here a while, you know this past year was an emotional roller coaster, to put it lightly. But I've also been getting tons of DMs over on Instagram and just people commenting, asking about my whole situation. So I thought it would be easiest to just do a little Q&A video answering all of your guys' questions. So I put a question box over on Instagram. So if you're not following me there, make sure you are. So I figured we would just go through as many questions as we can and hopefully give you guys some answers. Before we get fully started on that though, just to give you like a mini update for those of you that missed the news, I did accept a temporary position teaching kindergarten until January. Obviously I was hoping for something full year. Long story short, that's where I'm at, and we are just gonna do the best with the cards that were dealt. So today's the Friday before the first day of school. Monday through Thursday this week was teacher in service. So we had some PD some days, we had some time to work in our classrooms, and last night was back to school night. So it was so nice to see some new faces and just get a little like motivation going into the school year. I feel like when you're setting up your classroom, it gets so stressful and overwhelming, but then once you see kids at back to school night, it's just like rejuvenating in a way. So that was just so exciting for me. Every year as I'm prepping my new classroom space and getting ready for the upcoming school year, it just feels so refreshing to think of all the students I'm gonna have and all the new faces that are gonna walk into my classroom. In September, it's literally just a list of names, but by June, it means so much more. But right now, it's all just so exciting, and I love the feeling of a fresh start. I can imagine a lot of you are just like me, getting ready for the upcoming school year, but there may be some of you craving a fresh start of your own. If going back to school has been on your mind, whether that be finishing a degree, going in a new direction, or just investing in yourself, this might be your time to just go for it and do something for you. That is why I'm so excited to be partnering with National University to share a resource for those looking to pursue goals in higher education. If this is the first you're hearing of NU, it's an accredited nonprofit university that truly cares about supporting you and your busy life by providing flexible 4-week and 8-week online courses. Whether you're a teacher wanting to pursue another degree or you're looking to change career paths, NU is designed for people juggling multiple responsibilities to adhere to your needs and allow you to keep working while still chasing your career goals. And for a limited time, National University is offering a back-to-school scholarship that will grant students up to $6,000 annually towards your bachelor's or your master's degree. So for more information on how to get started with National University and the back-to-school scholarship, click on the link in my description or scan the QR code. Now jumping into the questions. As I was getting all of these questions, the number one question that I was getting is, why can't I film in my classroom? When I was hired, my principal basically said, hey, I know about your social media, but I just want to let you know there is no filming at this school. You can do a classroom reveal, just like sharing your classroom for the year, but there's no like day-to-day filming or pictures on an everyday basis. I'm obviously just gonna adjust my content and it'll all be okay. How many years have you been teaching? This current school year will be my 8th year. I've taught mostly 3rd grade, but I did spend a little bit of time in 4th grade. I did some pull-out services for gifted and talented, which was in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. And then I also taught kindergarten last year, which is what I'll also be teaching this year. So I really was hoping to teach 1st grade last year, but if you know my story, I was involuntarily transferred and the rest is history. Next one is, what do you look for when buying teacher outfits for work? I would say my biggest thing when I'm looking for teacher outfits is something that is going to be comfortable but still professional at the same time. I'm always obviously looking for it to be affordable as well, because I obviously know my audience. I know that teachers do not have a lot of money and they're always looking for clothes that are good quality but also aren't going to break the bank. That being said, most of the clothes that I do buy for teaching are from either Amazon or Target. Sometimes I get stuff from Abercrombie, but it is a little bit more expensive, but Abercrombie quality is like really good. Old Navy is also a good spot to get teacher clothes too. So let me know if we should do like a shopping vlog video where I can show you like different teacher outfits and like styling them and just all the different things I have in my closet, because I think that would be fun. Next one is, how are you going to cope with going from having a classroom to going to long-term sub or temporary positions? Because I might be doing the same. This is something that I've been really struggling with. It's been really hard on my mental health in a way that like it almost gives you this idea that you aren't a good enough teacher to have your own classroom because you've been interviewing the entire summer and you've been trying for so long to get a position. It's just extremely competitive right now, at least in my area. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and it's also just wild to see all the different comments that I'm getting on my videos of sharing my interview process and the interview vlogs and whatnot, where people are saying, come to this state, come to this state. It's like, you'll get a job in a second. And while I really appreciate that, unfortunately, I'm not just gonna like uplift my life. Like, I'm here, my boyfriend's here, we've been here for 4 years. I have a lot of friends here, and it's like, yes, while I would love to go somewhere where I could get a job so quickly, I also do feel like, one, I can't really like uproot my life right now, and two, I also feel like Oregon treats its teachers very, very well compared to other states, just from like talking to different people, and how things run here I feel like is so much better than other states in my opinion. I'm not really sure exactly what it's like, but just from what I've heard, Oregon teachers are treated very, very well. Next one, are you married? I am not, but my boyfriend and I, we live together obviously, and we've been together for, it'll be 5 years in November. Yeah. Would I like to be married soon? Yes, of course, but when the time is right, it'll happen. Next one is, do you think your popularity on social media hinders you getting hired? This is something that I really struggled with the entire summer. They obviously don't know me. They don't know what kind of person I am, and just seeing like my online presence versus like experiencing me in person. But it also like hurts my heart a little bit, because if they even just like watch my content and watch what I share, I don't share students, I don't share any identifying factors. So it's really hard for me to kind of like grasp that, I guess you could say. In short, yes, I think it does hinder a little bit, but I think if I were to find the right person at the right school, they would see it as a positive. I think some people that aren't really as active on social media don't really understand like why I do it. That actually goes along with another question that I got, which is, do you think that your social media is impacting your teaching career in a bad way? And this like question, I totally understand why this person asked it, but it kind of like breaks my heart in a way, because social media is such a huge part of my life now, and it's crazy to think that even like 2 or 3 years ago, like it wasn't even like on the radar, you know? I have learned so much from so many other teachers online, and I've gotten so many other ideas and just built such a strong community that I obviously know that it has been so positive, but hopefully schools and districts can see past that and just see me for me and know that teaching is my number one priority, and social media is just something in addition to that, where I can share my ideas, I can be an inspiration to other teachers, and yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Ooh, I like this one. Rank your least favorite grades to your favorite grades to teach. I'm just gonna keep it within the elementary realm. So like, I haven't taught every single grade, but just from like knowing different content in different grades and what I've heard from other teachers, if I were to rank it, I would say top grade is 2nd grade. Then I would say 1st grade comes next. Then I would probably say 4th grade, maybe 3rd. I don't know. This is a hard one. In my personal opinion, I would go 2nd, 1st, 3rd. I can't decide. Hang on. 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 4th, kinder, 5th. Which like, I actually like, I love teaching kindergarten, but I think if I had like my personal preference and my choice, I think I would prefer to teach 1st or 2nd grade, just because of like, they have a little bit more independence, but they're still so innocent in such a primary grade level. Like, don't get me wrong, kinder is so magical and I absolutely love teaching kindergarten, but at the same time, I think for me personally, I would fit better in 1st or 2nd grade. Next one is, have you ever considered doing content creation and TPT curriculum products full time? So I think if I were to not get a position for the upcoming school year, I would have just been subbing as much as I can, because obviously it's really hard to find subs and you can probably sub every single day if you wanted to. But that being said, because my platform is centered so much around teaching and I truly love teaching, when I like am on summer break and I don't have a schedule or a routine or like somewhere to be, I kind of go crazy in a sense where it's like, yes, I'm recharging for the upcoming school year, but I don't think I could do that full time. For me personally, I need somewhere to be, I need somewhere to go, I need a like steady paying job. And also like health insurance and benefits and all of that I think is so important too. So for me personally, like I really don't see myself ever leaving teaching. Maybe I might try and find a job somewhere else that still like is in the education realm, but like that's not even like on my radar right now, like maybe years down the line where I'm like completely burnt out. Of course, I am going into year 8, so I am definitely feeling like it is an exhausting profession. At the same time, I don't really see myself leaving anytime soon, but I would love to just be a content creator full-time and TPT if my brain could like allow that, I guess, because I love creating teaching resources and it's just so enjoyable for me. But I also love creating content as well, but I love creating content that's centered around teaching. So probably not, but you never know. Are you from Oregon? And if not, do you like it? So I'm not from Oregon. I'm actually from Buffalo, New York, or the surrounding areas. I grew up there and I didn't move to Oregon until 2021. My boyfriend moved here in 2020. We're actually both from Buffalo. So we met in Buffalo. He moved out for a job. We did long distance for a year and then I moved the year after. So this will be now my 4th or 5th year here. I can't keep track, but regardless, I do love Oregon. I love how everything is so walkable. We live right in the city. It's just a really great place to be. You have mountains, hiking, beach. Honestly, I really think the West Coast is so much better than the East Coast for so many reasons. This is kind of a silly reason, but like even just for watching NFL games and the Buffalo Bills, like having it be on earlier in the day and I don't have to stay up super late for night games, and the games are on at 10 a.m. over here. So like it's really nice being a Buffalo Bills fan on the West Coast. Is there any other job you consider other than teaching? Like I said before, I would love to just be a content creator full-time and make teaching resources, but I also don't really feel like I can relate to the teaching community if I were to do that, because like I'm not in the classroom experiencing it with you all every single day. I would kind of feel like a little bit of imposter syndrome if that were to happen, because I built such a strong following. So like no hate to like all of the people that have taught in the classroom and are now like transforming their content into something else, but for me, I just don't think that is for me, and I really do love teaching. Other than that, maybe like being a social media manager or something like that, because I do have the social media experience now, I think could be really fun too. Next one is, have you looked in Buffalo for teaching jobs? And that's where I started teaching. I taught in Buffalo for 3 years before I moved out to Oregon. I mean, my boyfriend and I have talked about it a little bit. When and if we have kids, I feel like we probably will move back to Buffalo just to be closer to family, but like nothing is set in stone and we really don't know. So when that time comes, obviously I would be looking for teaching jobs in Buffalo. Can you explain the process in your area? Do they not have tenure in Portland? So in Portland, for most districts, you can get hired on as a temporary teacher or a probationary teacher. And if you get hired on as a probationary teacher, you are on this cycle for, I think it's 3 years. So you have 3 years as a probationary teacher before you can achieve contract status, which I assume is basically the same thing as tenure. Could you share any tips you have starting out as a TPT seller? Any advice you have? So this is definitely like a big just trial and error, and I would take resources that you've created for your own classroom first and basically tweak them to sell them on Teachers Pay Teachers, because whatever you're using in your own classroom is going to be most beneficial that other teachers are going to want to buy. I know some people use Canva, but I personally use PowerPoint to do everything, and that's the easiest tool or platform that I make all of my resources on. And to be honest, I feel like to be a successful TPT seller, you really kind of have to have an eye for like the aesthetic of it all, because if there's resources that like aren't really formatted well and kind of like pleasing to the eye, or like too busy or stuff like that, because there's definitely some TPT sellers that I'm like, so much going on and you can't even see that and it's not kid friendly. Like that's my other biggest thing, is like having fonts that are kid friendly where it's going to be developmentally appropriate for your students to read. That's one of my big things too. So if you want more info on like how I started my TPT, and like I can compare some like products that I first made versus like products I make now and just how much I've grown, I can definitely do that. Thinking about teaching as a second career, is it worth it or is it too much stress? Honestly, you need to find a job that you're going to be happy in. And if it's calling you to be a teacher and try it out, then why not go for it? Yes, it is a stressful job, and yes, it does not pay as much as we should get paid. Personally, if you love working with kids and you get joy from that, then I think it is so worth it. I love this question. If you're not from Buffalo, you're probably not going to understand this, but this one is Barbell or Gabriel's Gate for wings. What's your favorite wing spot in Buffalo? So here's the thing. I've never had Barbell because every time I've tried to go, the wait was extremely long and I haven't been able to get in. So I'm very sad about that. But I've had Duff's so many times. I've had Anchor Bar, just like little like mom and pop shops around my town as well. And I feel like I always go back to Duff's because it's just solid and good wings. But long story short, there are some really good wing spots here in Portland too. If you're in the Portland, Oregon area and you love wings and you need some good wing recommendations, Tinker Tavern is really, really good. And there's another one that I'm forgetting the name of it. I'll have to get back to you on that. But Tinker Tavern is an excellent wing spot if you are looking for something good. Can you still share your teacher looks? Yes, I think I'm gonna do like teacher outfits before school, just different stuff like that. Yes, I will still be sharing my teacher outfits. Is there a chance this job continues beyond January? I think the thing with temporary jobs is it does like get your foot in the door into a district. So if everything goes well, then obviously I would love to stay at the school. How do you stay motivated in your health and fitness goals throughout the school year? I'm gonna be completely real. Sometimes there'll be weeks where I don't work out because I'm just exhausted. Now, here's the thing though, I will say I do have energy drinks like either at lunch or before or after school to keep my energy up throughout the day, because if not, I'm just gonna be dragging after school and I wanna get home and do absolutely nothing. Another thing is if I don't work out or go on a walk or run or whatever the case may be in the first couple hours after school, then it's probably not gonna happen. Another thing is just meal prepping. I'm really not that good at this. A lot of the times I'll just get Starbucks in the morning, but like, yes, of course I'm gonna have days where I want ice cream or I want a burger. But I think if I'm doing like kind of like an 80-20 where like 80% of the time I'm eating healthy for the most part and 20% of the time I can just eat whatever I want, that's a pretty good balance, you know? Will you get to personalize your classroom or is it already set up? I really just moved furniture around and like put some things up on bulletin boards, but other than that, I didn't really do too much. Are you going to make your students published authors this year? I'm not sure. I don't think so, just because I don't have them for the full year. The first half of kindergarten, they're really not doing a whole lot of writing. We're really just like learning a lot of stuff still. I'm not sure if I can make that happen this year. What is the interview process like? I'm interviewing soon and just feel like things are different now. Honestly, I feel like in Oregon specifically, they are really specific on their questions. I made a video on TikTok and Instagram sharing some of the questions that I got, so I will link that in the description. But I think they're really just looking for teachers that care about students, care about the whole child, and are going to treat everyone equally. Why were there so many layoffs to teachers in your area? Budget cuts. New to the teaching Insta world, any recommendations on what to film? I would be extremely careful to start off. Do not ever share students. Do not ever share any of their identifying information. Do not ever share what school you're teaching at. FERPA is the law. Be extremely careful on what is in your videos. I'm obviously biased to the type of content that I share, which is like teaching outfits, daily vlogs, before the bell rings, after the bell rings, and just like different ideas of things that you're doing in your classroom. You are so strong. How do you stay mentally positive? Thank you for saying that. I feel like I've been trying to stay very positive on social media, but if we're being completely honest, like last night, I cried for a long time. Now I'm getting emotional. Ugh. Even if things are extremely hard right now, everything will work out like it's supposed to and it'll all be okay. Everything happens for a reason. While I wish I still had my full year position, unfortunately, that's not how things worked out. I just have to keep reminding myself that it's all okay. Everything happens for a reason. Just a reminder that social media is a highlight reel and not everyone is going to show you every sad or depressing part of their life or when they're struggling or any of that. So just remember that when you are watching other teachers and when it seems like everything is so positive and joyful, it's not always going to be like that, and it's okay if you don't have it all together. This one says, are teachers underpaid in the US? Extremely underpaid. Now, Oregon and a couple other states that like I've just done a little research on pay teachers pretty well, but then I hear about teachers that are making 30 to 40K. That's absolutely insane to me. It's just wild to see the difference in different states. What took you across the country, and would you ever move back to Buffalo? I kind of already answered that, but I wanted to obviously be with my boyfriend, so that's why I moved across the country. There wasn't really anything like keeping me in Buffalo, so I figured why not? That's why my life is here in Oregon now. But like I said before, when and if we have kids, we might move back to Buffalo, but we'll see. This video is getting pretty long and I answered a lot of questions, so I think that's what we're gonna stop at for now. But if you have more questions, put them in the comments below and let me know what other types of content you're really hoping to see. Hopefully I can still share my teaching life as much as I can. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.